Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of My Forever World. Last time I said the next time we saw each other would be when I was going to build a barn for all my animals that are like way over there. And that's true. Today that is what we're gonna do. But that means some extra time had been put on off camera. And so we're pretty much just gonna go over everything that happened so far. Right? So, first of all, we went mining, right? And me and mining trips don't really mix, but this time it was actually looking really peaceful. So, we went mining and we got a couple things. First of all, we got more diamonds, uh, and we found amethyst shards, which is why I have this spyglass. So much nice. It's so much nicer to just bam, bam. I don't have to get no zooming mod. Oh, life is great again. Life is so great. We were also able to get a couple bits of iron and gold. So we now have an anvil. Oh yeah, this means naming things is back on the table. Enchanting things, not really. I don't know if you saw it, but over there, back in my box, there was a golden apple and some diamond horse armor trim. Ta-da! And dune armor trim. So that's because I also went exploring, right? So you zoom out, you come all the way over here. This is a desert. We've been to this village before. Yes, yes. So today, or the other day, really, we traveled, we went a little farther, and we went to this village. And this is like one village and then two villages, and then a desert temple right here. And in this village, there was another desert temple that I raided again, and then we came to check out this sulfur spring, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is a sulfur spring right there. Then we took a little detour to come into this mangrove swamp and grab some mangrove propulate. I don't know, propulate. Look, let me show you. It's these little guys. They grow on literally the mangrove tree and they drop. So now we have mangrove. We have mangrove wood, which is awesome. See, look, I've been growing some just to pretty much get this stuff started so that I had the resources to build this barn, because yes, we're gonna make this barn red. I don't remember where I got it from, but that did not go in there. Don't remember where I got it from, but we also got spruce trees. I've been growing that. So we have a bunch of spruce to also use. And we finished what is it called? The fence around the property. You could kind of tell it's like this like tan line that's going around. And the last thing I want to tell you guys was we have two new friends, right? So first of all, we have a friend in here. Let's see if I can find him. Oh, he's stuck in the mud again. This is Meteor, right? I love Meteor. Me and Meteor are like ganged up for life, alright? Right? Posted up for life. Me and Meteor. That's just how things are, right? I wanted to kind of keep with like the space theme, so Meteor, except he's spelled wrong. It's spelled meat, E-or. That's not how you spell Meteor in real life. Okay? Because we just call him Meat for short. So say hello to Meat. This is the first thing I used the anvil on. I named Meteor. And then over here, oh my god. What is it called? Reaction, response, request, advice, idea. idea. We got this guy. We got our little guy, right? And he's named Nova. You can't really tell, right? Oh yeah, he's named Nova. And there's this guy's got some lore, right? So for context, he's like the scarecrow of my crops, right? And here's like his whole lore. This is what's going on with Nova, right? So when he was a young lad and still living, he came from like a small village, and they low-key really relied on like the yearly crops and stuff. And one year, this is a particularly bad year for harvesting. When he was young, like probably like 21, 19-ish, around there, the crops were going really bad. And a witch came by and he was like, and the witch was like, so, how much do you want this harvest to go well? Because it was bad. They were low-key living off rotten flesh. Like, it was bad. They were poor, they're broke. I don't know if the reminds you of anybody, but like, it's bad, right? And so he took up a deal with this witch, and he had to go through 3 trials. The first trial, he had to till all of the land all over again, because there was nothing, anything that was already growing, he had to till it down, right? Which is why he has this one hand, right? That's why he has a hand. The second task Nova had to complete was literally stay awake all night and sit and watch the crops grow. This is a different day. And every so often, some like entity would call at him to try to distract him, but he could not take his eyes off of the crops, or else, you know, the deal's through, which is why he has an ear, because he had to listen. He had to not listen, essentially. And on the third one, on the third night of his trials, this is the final night, he pretty much had to just, again, stand there and watch them finally grow. Except he couldn't check any of the crops to make sure, like, he couldn't walk onto the field. So he had to stand at the edge and watch everything grow. And so if he ever saw, like, a crow or something fly by, or, like, any pest, he couldn't go in there and shoo it away. He had to stand outside the like, harvesting area. And so he became a hero of his land. It was awesome. And he had to do the same thing every year. He had to watch the crops, not like the same exact trials, but he had to watch the crops every year to make sure that a famine like that never happened to his people ever again, right? Because that was horrible. It was bad for his people. There was like, they were not going to make it through winter. It was bad. It was horrible. And so one day, this is like way in his later years, when he's like an old man, he died out there on the field watching it. And instead of just decaying, his body instead turned to stone. And so he still watches over the crops every harvest, and over time his name had been lost to time, and because he was the star of the people, they just started to call him Nova, right? Which is right why he's called that. So he watches over the crops. He's a grumpy old man now. He's a scarecrow. He's not from this town because there is no town around here. But he's a grumpy old man who watches over the crops, and he low-key gets mad every single time I trample them. Every single time this stuff turns to dirt, he's pissed, and he's just like, why I try my best not to trample, because he's watching, alright? Look at him. He's a grumpy old man. Nova is a grumpy old man. He does not want his crops to be trampled. Oh my god. See, like, you're trampling his crops. You're trampling his crops. Like, stop trampling his crops. Right? And if you would stop trampling his crops, he would be happy. But he's not happy because you're trampling on them. Okay, enough Nova lore. I have to go to sleep till this guy dies. Holy freak. So, if that's the Nova lore, he watches over the crops. He gets pissed. Pissed. He gets so mad every time I trample them. He gets mad whenever, you know, something goes to waste. It just pisses him off, right? So he watches over the crops to make sure that they grow. And yeah. So that's what's up with Nova. Unfortunately, Meteor does not have that type of lore. I just found him in the cave and I was like, you're coming home with me, little boy. Come on, Meteor. Meteor is actually a girl, just like Sparkles. Sparkles is a girl. Sparkles also, unfortunately, does not have any lore because I said so. Yeah. Wait, let's go name Sparkles right now. Sparkles. Yep. They don't have lore. Nova does. W Nova for keeping the crop safe. Definitely need him for that. But yeah, so that's what's up with Nova. Okay, enough yapping, let's go get to building. So anyways, right here, like this hill, I've been saving this hill to be for the farmhouse. And the farmhouse is genuinely just like a shed where I'm gonna put all my storage stuff, because having my chests laying around like this is ugly as shit. I can't lie, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. I can't keep looking at it. And I'm sure you don't want to keep looking at it either. So we're going to get this place up and ready for storage unit. And then the other goal, because this is like a mini goal, the other goal is to make a barn right there where you see where the path crosses together. The plan is for the path to lead into this barn house from both sides. Right? There's gonna be a front door, right? Obviously, gonna have to have a front door. There's gonna be the inside for the pigs, because again, they are just begging to be released. And I want to let them roam around in this place, but I also need to make sure that they don't despawn, because the rule is that animals will not despawn if they're in a fenced-in area. And this is technically a fenced-in area, but I'm very sure that the fenced-in area that I've made is too big for mobs to not despawn. So I'm pretty sure that the mobs will despawn if I just let them loose, run around in here, so I can't be doing that, which means I have to have at least 2 of them locked up in a barn. Horrible, I know, but it is what it has to be to do this. So that's what's going on. That's what we're gonna do today. And that's why I've waited a little while to do this. So let's go and figure out what we're gonna be doing. Or, well, we know what we're gonna be doing. What? Let's go figure out how we're gonna be doing what we're gonna be doing, you know? Yeah. Okay, so obviously, because the farmhouse is a lot smarter? Okay. Anyways, the farmhouse is going to be a lot smaller than the barn, right? Because I have to house like a bunch of animals in my barn, and I only have to make like a little tiny shed that's gonna fit on this mountain, or this hill, this mountain, bro. This hill. So obviously we're gonna tackle the small stuff first, because the big stuff is kind of intimidating. And so we're gonna deal with getting the farmhouse set up. This means that anything above this layer of dirt is gonna have to get cleared. So all this is gonna have to get cleared, and my stuff is gonna have to get moved, right? We're just probably gonna move it over here, because this is where I'm gonna be building. Right, I'm gonna be building it, probably either on this layer or on this layer, right? So this stuff has to get moved. So first order of business is pretty much to clear this out, make this level. Yeah. So why don't we just get into that? Okay, so this is the area we're gonna be working with. For this whole build, I'm gonna be referencing my old farmhouse. So yeah, so I know what I'm doing with this. For the barn, I don't know what I'm doing. So we're waiting the barn. We're pretty much tweaking my old farmhouse, because if you don't remember, this is not the original Forever World. This is the Java version that will continue, because I'm not going to be going back to Bedrock. But not sorry. So we're going to be referencing the old one, and so I already know what to do for this farmhouse. I don't know what to do for the barn. Right. So let's just get into it. All right. So this is the foundation of the house. It's kind of small. That's okay. We don't really need that much storage. We're just going to put storage here along this wall, and then here on these 2 sides, and then it's going to be kind of like a roof, and then open everywhere so I can just run through it, because I don't know if you noticed, but there's a reason that my house is just kind of like this little place in the walls because I know I'm not going to spend all my time in there. So, yeah. And this is a place for storage, and I want it to be kind of like an open shed so that it's not like kind of like a closed off thing that's like kind of an eyesore and like fucks up the environment. So we have this. You'll be able to see out through here. This will be a little window. You're gonna obviously be able to see out through like every other place except for like here because this is where the chest will go. This is where the chest will go, and then right there. So yeah. So next thing we're gonna work on the roof. Roofs are kind of hard. So yeah, we're gonna work on the roof. It's gonna be a pain, but we're gonna thug it out anyways, because that's how we do it. This is how we do it. Oh yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. And then after the roof, we are gonna come in here and transport all of this stuff over here for storing. Yep. This is the end product, right? So here it is. Everything gone. Everything from there is gone, and it's been put in here. Right? Here's our bulk storage, so all the wood products, dirt, terracotta, and this is like kind of half organized. This is just miscellaneous items. This is stuff that like can be mined. Oh my god, I have not finished. Holy freak. So this is like stuff that can be mined. This is the miscellaneous items. This is stuff related to like growth and mob drops. So dead bushes grow naturally, that's kind of related to growth, stuff like that. Here is my tools. So where all my tools and stuff go. This is like where my job blocks go. So we got my furnace and coal in there. This is just empty. We're waiting on something to put in there. And this is for all my valuables that are not in my room. Because I do have valuables that are over there. So yeah. And the thing that will go right here is a copper golem chest. Because I do not want to have to be sorting through all of this stuff all the time. And because a copper golem will be sorting through it, I just kind of put everything there by like category. So the copper golem will not be touching my tools or my valuables or job blocks, but they will be able to touch literally everything else. That should be enough. Now let's see. Right? And then we got and bam. Yes! Oh, look at him. He's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my god, that's so cute. Oh, that is so cute. I love that. He is just such a cutie patootie. Now we have the hard part. We have to make the barn. Now, this is hard for a couple reasons, right? So the first reason is I kind of want the farm to go like this, right? Right here. Except that's diagonal, and I know I'm not skilled enough to build a diagonal, so we're not going to do it. Instead, it's going to be like this, straight this way. All right, shamelessly, we're going to go, you got to compromise where you can. So it's going to be this way, right here, right? And secondly, our other issue is I don't really know how to build a barn, right? So along with not building, we also only have, I think, 47. We have like this, my friends. I do not believe will be enough to take care of everything. So we're gonna grab another mangrove propagale, and we're gonna grow it. And after going through Pinterest for a while and calling out all the AI crap, I got my references that were actually not AI, by the way, and hopped into Creative World to start building. And I came out with this. This. Right, okay. Clear that. Oh. This is the build. This is the front of the barn. It's very cute. I really like this roof, bro. I really like this roof. I also put in some details, planters and stuff. Little barn doors that are like open. I'm gonna have to put something here to keep the mobs from getting out. But yeah, this is the front, and then it opens up to an even bigger area. And this is where I don't know if you could tell. This is where the mobs will go. They have a little watering trough, and there's all this hay. Like I said, the villager like housing definitely inspired me, as well as the cartoon stuff, which is why it's like red and so triangle. Right, so we got like buckets of hay bales. We got all the different types of dirt in here just to like give it some variety. And this is where like the two of each animal will go. Oh my god. Forget I'm in creative. Right, and up here is where the chickens can go. Right, chickens go up here. They have a nice little window to look out of that they can't escape from. Same thing over here. It's the same thing except I have a little area for the horse. Sparkles is gonna have a nice top his freak house. And I checked, he can't get out of here without a rider. So we're chilling. And if he does, it's okay. It's not, to me, it's not a huge deal. I did want there to be side openings so that I could come in from here and from here, but I realized I kind of, with the design I went, obviously I can't do that, and there's just not enough space to do that if it was huge and bigger, but I could, but, and I don't want to make it too big, because, again, I have to farm all these resources on my own. Ugh, bro, just actually kill me, actually kill me. Alright, anyways. So this is the back, this bigger opening is the back. It looks pretty much the same. The sides, I'm really excited to show you guys the side. It's kind of basic. Maybe we'll put like a porch swing on one of the sides because I think it would bring some more character to it. And I'm missing a stair, so let's just go fix that, bro. That's a slab. That's a stair. How did I not notice that? Alright, but this is it. I'll probably put a porch swing over here just to add the whimsy. Just to give it a little something, something. So we're gonna grab a schematic of this and then put it into our world and then grab all the resources I need and build it. So let's go do that. Okay, we are back in the Forever world and thankfully we have grinded all the resources. Let me show you. So if we go F3N, we're in spectator mode and we've pasted in the schematic, right? And of course it's perfection. There is an issue where it's like not level to the ground. So some terraforming is going to come in clutch. Let's go F3N again. So yeah, terraforming, but besides that, we have it here. And guys, check this out. Configure materialist. We're gonna ignore this because everything that needs to be in the green is in the green because I grinded out all my resources. Oh my god, it's actually shocked that it all fits in here. But I grinded it out. Took me a while, but oh well. But we did it. So now it's just time to bust out my moves and work on this barn. And so pretty much we're just gonna do the barn, and then unfortunately it will be built like half loading. Then we're gonna turn off the schematic so I can see better, and then we're gonna terraform around it, put in all the dirt and ish. So yeah, let's go. Guys, this is my first time using Lightmatica, so if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, it's probably because I really don't know what I'm doing. And it's also my first time using scaffolding, but like, that one's so much easier to figure out. It's like Lightmatica, hard. Scaffolding, for noobs. Okay, this is the finished product. Toughest freak outdoor design, by the way. And then this is the inside. All the hay bales are genuinely everywhere, and we're not gonna talk about the floating sign because I actually really need this to have the chickens up here. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Anyways, and look at Sporkles, bro. He's living it up. Oh wait, Sparkles is living it up. Yeah, W Sparkles, bro. And watch this. Out, in. He's not gonna. Sparkles is not gonna get out on her own. This so that mobs can't get in, but I can because I'm lazy as a freak and I'm not gonna make myself like open freaking gates all the time. Or like, why would I do that? And this is the front. It's literally like almost the exact same except for the roof and like the barn doors. It's a little bit shorter. It's tough as freak, yo. And that is the barn. Loki took me way too long to make this. And there we go. We have completed our tasks successfully. How does it feel to complete your task, crewmate? Oh, that was amazing. Oh my god, that is amazing.